straight games, just a game and a half back of Brooklyn for the top record in the Eastern Conference. They're going to be in Toronto tonight to face the Raptors. Turning to the Badgers, they got their first true road win of the season last night with a 70-66 victory over Georgia Tech. They got it in large part due to Brad Davison's offense. Scored 27 points, including 9 straight at one point in the second half. Coach Greg Gard happy he came back for a 5th year.
That's what he can do. And obviously we needed it. And, gave us a huge boost there. But I'm glad he's on our team, I'll tell you that.
Wisconsin now 6-1 on the year. They're going to be back on the floor later today, start prepping for a visit from Marquette on Saturday. And the Brewers got a deal done just before the MLB lockout started last night, trading Jackie Bradley Jr. and 2 prospects to Boston for outfielder Hunter Renfroe.
Want to save even more at Fleet Farm? Well, now you can with Fleet Rewards. It's free to sign up, and there's no credit card required. Using Fleet Rewards is easy. Earn points every time you shop. Plus, get exclusive member offers, birthday and anniversary perks, free tire rotations, and more. Download the Fleet Farm app or create an account at fleetfarm.com/rewards to start earning points today. Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
Well, the Packers are on their bye this week. They'll return next week to face Chicago on Sunday Night Football. Also today, quarterback Aaron Rodgers turned 38. Running back Aaron Jones turned 27. And the Badgers waiting their placement for bowl season. Going to find out Sunday. Most projections have them going to Tampa to face an SEC team in the Outback Bowl. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heilprin.
Are you ready for some football? He talks green and gold.
Look at the 8. Go.
This is the Huddle with Bill Michaels.
We're broadcasting live. We are here at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mountain Road. We're in Milwaukee. We're only a stone's throw away from American Family Field. We are glad to have you tonight. Thanks for joining us. I certainly appreciate it, and we are brought to you by our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. Also joining us from the studios out at the Zone in Madison, WOZN, is our good buddy Ebo tonight. Ebo, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Bill. Nice to be with you tonight, my friend.
So I'll give you a real quick glimpse into my trip down here tonight. I'm coming down Blue Mountain Road. I don't live far from here, and I only live about 15 minutes away. I'm coming down Blue Mountain. In my rear view mirror, about 100, maybe 150 yards behind me is some squad cars. And I see the lights flashing, the whole thing, and I'm thinking, man, what did I do? You know how you start to get it? First thing you think of is, did I speed? Secondly, you start to think, okay, it's not me, get out of the way. So I start to, and now I'm in the center lane, I start to move off to my right because there's a car in front of me that is turning left at the intersection right up the street here. As I do, I look into my side view mirror to make sure it's clear when I see an SUV, an old Toyota, kind of like a 4Runner, about 100 miles an hour flying up Blue Mountain Road. That's who they're chasing. So I was actually almost a part of, had I not realized it right away, this guy would have hit me, but I was almost a part of the first high-speed chase that I've ever witnessed in person. But that's what was going on here in Milwaukee,
Bill,
yeah.
Rumor was, though, they were trying to get to Kelly's Bleachers for your show, The Huddle, tonight. They were just they had their hair on fire. They're trying to get a brewski with you.
That might have been, but they passed by. They gave me the bird and passed by. But the 4 or 5 squad cars went flying past, and I think he had sideswiped a car and hit another car and just kept on going. And the one police car stopped in the intersection. The other 3 or 4 stayed behind this guy, and then 2 more came after that. And man, it was kind of a wild scene down here. But we're good. Yeah. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's happy. And American Family Field is all lit up. They've got Christmas lights. I don't know if you heard me talking about that earlier today. They got you drive through all the parking lots, and they have like you drive in underneath the little archway that says American Family Field Christmas, whatever, and you drive through it, and it's a Christmas display. I think you just pay money, and all the money goes to something that's been donated. But yeah, they got a Christmas display. So I drove past that on the way down and saw that a little bit. So now here we are tonight. So good stuff.
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah. I heard you earlier today. Sorry to interrupt. That's cool. I heard you earlier today talking about your Christmas trees that you had up. I didn't take you for, what was it, a 3 Christmas tree kind of guy?
Yeah. Now, are you coming on? We're a couple of weeks away. I think it's 2 weeks from Saturday. Are you going to be there?
I might be. I have a friend's, not a Friendsgiving, but a friend's Christmas. And I got to check with my wife because she's the event planner here. But mark me down with the pencil right now, Bill. But yeah, I would love to check out your 3 Christmas trees.
And
I love the holidays, especially when it's after Thanksgiving to celebrate Christmas.
The house started getting decorated today. And so it'll probably take about 3 days to get it all together. Kristen's going to be there this weekend, and she's all geeked because she wants to go cut down a Christmas tree. So we have in the great room is a live one. It's a big fat, will be a big fat whatever we cut down Christmas tree. That's where like the gifts go. And then there's one in the bar, and then upstairs there'll be another one that is kind of more of the what she calls it the zhuzhy tree. If you know what the word zhuzh means, it's that it's that white tree with the flocking on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and while it looks like it just got snow covered, it's plastic as hell. That type of tree. So yeah, we'll have that in the upstairs. So yeah, it's a 3.
Hey, I have a fake tree too. I have a fake tree up. I have one tree. It's a fake tree. I like it though because it's so easy to do and it looks cool. So I have one fake tree.
My luck is in the room downstairs. The patio door is so big, I can bring the tree in and out. I don't need to drag it through the house. It's not going to get needles everywhere. And I'm usually pretty good. Because I cut down my own. So I'm usually pretty good. I cut it down and then I come home and then I cut it again and I stick it in water and I trim it and I make sure it's good to go. Before we put it up, it's always sitting in that bucket of water overnight.
You're like Clark Griswold, Bill.
Oh yeah. And I'm not Clark in the sense that I'll cut down a tree out of a forest that is like a giant redwood, but I'll cut down a nice one. I don't mind that. So talking to Packers football, the latest the Packers have had a bye week. The Packers go to 9-3 after the 36-28 win over the LA Rams in Week 12, and it was Green Bay's 10th straight regular season win at home, the longest streak since the 12-game streak in 2014-2015. So, Ebo, now that they're finally at the break, if you had to say from the helicopter view and somebody was calling you up for the first time to say, give me your thoughts on the Green Bay Packers, give me your thoughts as the Packers sit here at 9-3, finally getting the bye week. Give me your thoughts on the Packers.
I think if you're up in that helicopter ride and you're looking down at the Green Bay Packers, you'd look at like a war-torn team, right? Got injuries, COVID, like this MASH unit of banged up guys with splints on and their shoulder braces and everything. So, but they won the war so far, right? You go into this bye week 9-3. You're one of the best teams in the NFL, and the Packers got this bye. Matt LaFleur was talking about it on Monday. You're going to use it to your advantage, and rightfully so, because really hoping to get a lot of these guys healthier, like Aaron Rodgers in his toe. You get Devondre Campbell off that COVID list. But Billy, look at this team. Yeah, they're battle test is what I would call it, I guess. They've been through hell and back, and they're alive to talk about it. And they're 9-3, one of the best teams in the NFL. I think the bye came at a perfect time for them to get ready for the stretch run.
So here's my question: is this team? Because I go through the power rankings each week, and I write them up and kind of go do my own shuffling. And some people say I'm crazy. I'm a homer, whatever you want to call it, but with everything they've gone through, to be 9-3, second best record in the National Football League, I say they're the best team. Arizona, they lost Kyler Murray for a few games, and I understand that. But to sit there, because they were still winning, to sit there and say that the Packers, with everything they've been through, no Bakhtiari, no Josh Myers, Elton Jenkins down for the year, just Jair's gone, Za'Darius has never played a snap. Now you got Whitney Merciless, who they picked up, played well, and then he's gone. I mean, going through all of that, I say they're the best team in the league, and the fact that their special teams have pretty much sucked. I'm going with the best team. Are they the best team in the league in your power rankings, would you say?
If they're not one, they're number 2. 1A, 1B, you can have interchangeable, I think, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they have just a loaded roster as well. And to be the champ, you got to beat the champ, right? Tom Brady, he's got those rings for a reason. But to your point, Bill, you look at the Buccaneers, who have all the names. And now Antonio Brown, I know he's battling an injury. He's going to be out for 4 games with a fake vaccine card that he got busted with. So was Mike Edwards. I don't know if you saw that or not. You might have been trying to get away from that high-speed chase. Crazy. But the Packers, Bill, they have a fantastic roster. Brian Gutekunst was public enemy number 1 during this offseason with how he was perceived of treating Rodgers, right? He now has got a talented group of, street free agents like the Devondre Campbell I mentioned, Rasul Douglas, other names that he brought in. If the Packers aren't the best team, I would say they're 1B to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I wouldn't say they're 2. They're 1B to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're a damn good team right now.
Yeah, it is. I think they're the best team in football. Tampa Bay still reigns supreme, and I think Tampa Bay, for some of the wins that Tampa Bay has had, even though, don't get me wrong, their record is good. And I always say, look, if you're a champion, whether you're winning by a touchdown or you're winning by 40, a champion's a champion. It is what it is. But you go back over the last few weeks and you look at some of Tampa Bay's wins and you're like, man, they're just eking by. That 38-31 win that they were battling back and forth with last week when they finally handed the ball off to Jonathan Taylor. I think if they give the ball to Jonathan Taylor all day, I think the Colts have a better shot of winning that game. You go back the week prior and Tampa Bay, I go back and I think they're a solid football team, but the Buccaneers 30-10 over the Giants, they didn't look good in doing it. But they all also get a win, and it was a 30-10 win, so you got to give them a lot of credit there. And then even you go back a week prior to that, where that team was, they got beat by Washington 29-19, and Tom Brady was throwing picks. So I think they've won games, but they haven't won games impressively, not defensively the way they were winning games last year.
Yeah, definitely. And Bill, if you want common opponents too, I mean, I know it was September 26th, looking at the schedule here for the Buccaneers. The Rams beat Tom Brady and the Buccaneers in LA 34-24, right? Rams, we just saw what the Packers did to them. Now in that game at Lambeau Field, I know it was score-wise it was closer, but did you ever feel in doubt that the Packers weren't like imposing their will on Matt Stafford and company of the LA Rams? I thought it was a comfortable victory, I thought.
Nope, completely agree. I thought that the Packers not only were winning that game, but I also thought that the defense, because people want to say, well, Matthew Stafford, it's Detroit. You can take him out of Detroit, but you can't take Detroit out of him. I just thought that they put pressure on Stafford. I thought with Rashawn Gary, I mean, go back to the even the fumble, the fumble that Rashawn Gary caused and Preston Smith picked up. They were causing him to shuffle his feet and move forward and move off to his right continuously that game. And I thought just some of the throws that he had were hurried, and it was because of the pressure. It wasn't because he was a bad quarterback. He was just under pressure. So I thought that the Packers defensively played a pretty good game. Now you think about how good will this team be if after the bye you get Jair, somewhere down the road maybe you get Josh Myers back, somewhere down the road maybe you get Bakhtiari back. Your offensive line is then back at close to full strength, and your defense already is solid. Jair can put them over the top. Now I don't expect any of these guys to come back and set the world on fire right away. But if you can get them a couple of games before the postseason gets here, my God, you could hit the postseason running. How good will this team be then?
Oh man, they'd be a juggernaut because it's health is the name of the game, especially at the end of the season, right? And entering the playoffs in the NFL, no one's 100% healthy. But you get a guy like Bakhtiari or Jair Alexander. Now I know they're injured now, but when you get them back, they would, in theory, I guess, since they haven't been playing all year, be the healthiest they had ever been, and not, going through, the battle of week after week, 17 weeks in the NFL. So if you were to get them back for, a playoff run, my God, how many other teams would be getting back an all-pro like David Bakhtiari, all-pro like Jerry Alexander? Have you heard anything on Zadarius Smith, by the way? I think you had an interview earlier this week. Have you heard anything on Zadarius Smith?
No, I haven't. I know that the last time he spoke and we saw anything from him publicly, I know that he was, saying how great he felt. It was good to be back. I know that he's hopeful he's going to return. That I do know. And that the last time I saw anything was going back, I think it was like mid-November, something like that. It was mid-November, and he said he was feeling really good. He was hoping to be back. Matt LaFleur said they hope to get him back after that back surgery. I just don't know. I put it this way. He has been seen at practice, but he's not practicing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fun.
Was it Baranchik? Did you have one earlier this week? And he said, was it Baranchik?
Yeah.
I think I'm saying his name right. Did you have it earlier this week? I think he said, don't get your hopes up. It was like maybe he'd pay like 60% of the time, or
right.
I forget exactly what he said, but it was essentially don't get your hopes up, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what back surgery is so tricky.
I won't get my hopes up. It'll be nice though.
Oh no, I would love it. I mean, a year ago, he was closing in on a second straight season with double-digit sacks. This year, obviously, he hasn't played a snap. Yeah. They're hoping to get him back. So, still, the injury's proven to be major. I thought my assumption is there were some discs that were moved around or replaced or eliminated or what have you. That with a surgery that's basically taking you this long to recover, it's not a minor surgery to relieve pressure. I think this is something where they had to move some. This might be one of those, Tiger Woods-esque surgeries. So I don't expect him to come back this year, but if he does, it's a huge, huge benefit for this team. We're broadcasting live, by the way, down at Kelly's Bleachers. And you can go to kellysbleachers1.com, Kellys, kellysbleachers1.com. You can see everything they have to offer. There's 3 Kelly's Bleachers, one down in Wind Lake and one in Big Bend as well, so they continue to grow. But a terrific place. They've got some food specials, drink specials here tonight. We are brought to you by our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. Stay tuned. Who do the Packers need back more? We'll talk about that next on the Bill Michaels Show.
This is the Huddle with Bill Michaels on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Stafford fires, he's picked. Intercepted by Rasul Douglas for the touchdown. Rasul Douglas had safety help, so he's able to jump the route. And boy, did he. And we saw him against Arizona with the interception that won the game for him on the road. That one might have just sealed this game.
We're a great team and get turnovers, takeaways, so we just pride ourselves on that.
Mike Clemens is a god, hitting the post, playing some music, cranking it up. Welcome back. It's the Bill Michaels Huddle. We are broadcasting live at Kelly's Bleachers here on Blue Mountain Road and in the Milwaukee area. Thanks for taking a listen to us. Brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. They are the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. Some breaking news out of the NBA real quick. We all know that Brook Lopez has had some back surgery, and there's no timetable for his return. But Giannis is out tonight after 8 straight wins. The Bucks are going to be without Giannis tonight, not playing in Toronto, as the Bucks play the second game in a row of the back-to-back. They played last night and got a win, a 127-125 win. Tonight, they're in Toronto after being at the Fiserv last night. So they beat the Hornets and then come back against the Toronto Raptors this evening. And no Giannis tonight, just an FYI. So just to get that out of the way. So we were talking before, and Rasul Douglas obviously has been a huge pickup for this team. And, Ebo, if you had to take somebody and say, I need this guy off of the IR, the guy that this team needs the most back is, who would you fill in the blank with?
Man, I got to think it's, protecting Aaron Rodgers. David Bakhtiari, I know he's not on the IR right now, but I need him to protect in that franchise number 12. So Yash Nyman comes in, right? He did okay, I would guess. Now, I know Rodgers was only sacked one time, but I think David Bakhtiari, the rapport he has and him being fresh after getting that knee scope, 2 weeks ago, I think having David Bakhtiari back, because the more time you can get number 12, the more comfortable I am with him leading the Packers to victories.
I would agree with you. As much as I know people want to see Jair back, and remember, the other thing about Jair, he's a hell of a defender. But when it comes to interceptions, it's not like he's head and shoulders above everybody else. There's not a lot of good hands in that secondary. The secondary's been playing good. They're not great. If you get Kevin King back and healthy, and I know people hate to say that, and everybody cringes, but if you have Stokes, if you have Rasul Douglas, if you have Kevin King, and you have a decent pass rush, you're okay. You're not dire to get Jair back, but you do not want to get Aaron Rodgers hurt. You do need depth on that offensive line. I agree with you. I would say Bakhtiari is probably the most needed back to come back and play for the Pack. My problem is I don't know when he's coming back. Right. After going through another knee scope, I don't know when he's coming back. It's usually at least a 3 to 4 week process. And if that's the case, then it takes you at least 2 weeks to get back at it. So by the time he had it, which was like a week ago, I'm not expecting him back till maybe the postseason.
And that's fine, I think, right? Because if you look at the Packers' schedule, it definitely eases up. The hardest one on there is going to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Yeah. Outside of that, I mean, are you really nervous about the Bears at Lambeau, the Browns at Lambeau, who are cratering? The Vikings, a little revenge on the mind for, the Packers at Lambeau. And then it's the Lions at the end of the year. Like, come on, the schedule eases up.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I'm not even, you know what? I know some people are a little bit nervous about getting swept by the Vikings. I'm not. I think they beat the hell out of the Vikings when they come back to Lambeau Field. I'm good with that. But I don't, other than going to Baltimore, I think that's going to be their toughest game. And possibly the 4th loss of the season. But if they go 13-4, that's a hell of a season. The problem is if you're still efforting, and we all know that they're going for the top seed in the division, when you look at the Arizona Cardinals and the rest of their schedule, they really don't have a tough schedule. I mean, the rest of the teams they have on the docket, they got the Bears, the Rams, the Lions. I mean, they're not. The Rams will probably be their toughest. But they've already beaten the Rams one time this year. That was at LA. Then they get them back in the desert. I'm not overly confident that the Rams are going to walk in there and get a big win. And they got the Bears coming up this weekend. So we know that they're probably going to beat the hell out of the Bears. Then the Rams, Lions, Colts, Cowboys, that could possibly be another loss. And the Seahawks to end their season. So, unless they go on some kind of a crazy losing streak and things begin to fall apart for the Arizona Cardinals, or Cliff Kingsbury suddenly jumps to go back to college football, I would assume they're going to be the top dog in the NFC.
You know what's crazy about the NFC West, man, is the Packers swept the NFC West, right? They went 4-0 against them, and 3 of the 4 teams are playoff teams. So the Packers already kind of battle-tested with that playoff. I know NFL changes week by week, but it's very comforting to know that they are 4-0 again than 3 teams.
Nope, I 100% agree. The fact that they were able to, and not only to beat these teams, but they handled Arizona. It wasn't like it was some last second, all of a sudden they scrapped and came from behind. I mean, for the most part, they were leading that game almost the entire time. And you just kind of felt like that was their night. That was one of the best games and ready to play moments I've seen out of the Green Bay Packers all season long. What they did.
Well, then Bill,
go ahead.
It was the I'm sorry to interrupt. That was the clip we played earlier. It was Rasul Douglas, right? Getting the pick for against the Rams.
Yeah.
He had Rasul Douglas coming out party against the Arizona Cardinals.
Yep. Absolutely. That was a big moment there. And the fact that they were able to run the football, they were able to kind of do what they wanted. Aaron Rodgers was running the offense probably about as brilliantly as we've seen it all season long. Coming back from, I believe that was the comeback game from the COVID, if I'm not mistaken. And the only game that really they went to the wire with when it came to the West was San Francisco. And that was back when the special teams worked, because remember, it was a last-second field goal that split the uprights that gave them the win out in San Fran.
Yeah, I'm looking at this team, Bill. I'm going back to what you originally asked me. I think it was, other teams, other people. I mean, coming back off the IR, and you had brought up Kevin King, and a lot of people are not going to like that. Here's the thing about Kevin King. Now, I'm not saying I'm like a big fan of his, but if you go and look at Kevin King when he is available, Mike McCarthy, by the way, Bill, fired on this day in history, just 2018 with the Packers. Mike McCarthy used to say the number one thing is to be available. And Kevin King's really not, but when he is, he's still a starter, a low-end starter in the NFL. Wouldn't you rather have a starter out there on the field than you would some guy that isn't? You know what I'm saying? Yep. So I think Kevin King would be a good addition for this defense with the remaining schedule as well. Let him get his feet wet again.
I hope that when he comes back, because he had if I'm not mistaken, it was a hamstring or a groin, one of the two, but it was one of those injuries that, if it doesn't heal properly or you don't get enough time, that he's not going to be competitive. And so, we saw that against the Rams. He didn't look good. So if he comes back, he's good. I believe in Stokes. He continues to get better. And Rasul Douglas has been just a hell of a find. I mean, between him and Devondre Campbell, and even, I know people kind of poo-pooed Whitney Merciless, but I thought he was great for depth. When you talk about those three guys at Gutekunst's prime, take the Jordan Love out of the pick, because I do want to get into this, but take Jordan Love out of the equation. You would have to say Brian Gutekunst has been maybe the best general manager since Ron Wolf brought in, Brett Favre, Reggie White, and started to reconstruct the offense and changed it to Mike Holmgren. Wouldn't you have to say that?
Oh, definitely. Brian Gutekunst, man. I think I said it earlier tonight. He was public enemy number one during the offseason. People, and myself included, I didn't really care for the Rashawn Gary pick at the time, trading up to get a project. But my God, that's paying off in dividends now. A lot of people were upset about the A.J. Dillon pick. Look what he's doing. Josiah DeGuara is having some big moments here occasionally. And Brian Gutekunst, you brought up Rasul Douglas, you brought up Devondre Campbell, Whitney Merciless. He even kicked the tires on Jalen Smith, who was once, 2019, Jalen Smith, I think, was a Pro Bowler. And the Packers defense is so good, and maybe to the point where Jalen Smith has fallen off, but they said after 2-3 weeks, no thanks.
Right.
Gutekunst is out there wheeling and dealing, and it's working nicely for the Packers.
The other guy that's taken a ton of heat, and do we owe an apology to? Joe Barry? Do we owe an apology to Joe Barry for the fact that he's done it? We said at the beginning of the season it would be no Jair, no Za'Darius. You'd bring in a Devondre Campbell. You'd be going after Whitney Merciless. You'd be talking about, guys that, like Kiki Kingsley trying to be a depth guy on this team. And you're hoping that Dean Lowry returns and gives you something that's, something he hasn't really been able to do over the last couple of years. And then you start to look at a guy named Jonathan Garvin, and you're looking at Tyler Lancaster still being here, TJ Slayton, Jack Heflin. And we would kind of go, what, who, what? And he's done since really the second half of the Lions game and the second game of the season. The defense has been steady, and it's been fantastic. And it's actually, I think, won some ball games for this team.
Oh, totally. No, it most definitely has. And Joe Barry, a lot of people, is like the running joke, right? In the late 2000s, he went defeated with the Detroit Lions and didn't do too well with the Washington football team. And then once you got your ass handed to you, week one in Jacksonville against the Saints, 38-3. You're like, oh my God, can we get Dom Capers back or something?
Right?
I can't believe I said that name. But you look at it now. It's like, Joe Barry. Now there's still more season to play, obviously. But you look at what he's done ever since with all the injuries in that week one. You're like, man, I think maybe if I'd buy him a beer. I'd come join you, Bill. Invite Joe Barry to where you're at right now and buy him a beer.
Yeah, Joe Barry is making a believer out of a lot of people. And I keep going back to some of the statistics when he was with the Lions and when he was with Washington. And you look at those stats. Some of the players played well. Some of these guys, they just didn't have enough offense on either one of those teams to even support the defense. But the defense statistically played okay. They were just on the field a lot. There was a lot of turnovers offensively. They had a lot of issues. And when you look at the players, it's like you go through the roster. Who the hell is that guy? And there was nobody that was really a standout that could anchor that defense. And then you think, okay, the numbers were better defensively. It's just that offensively they couldn't get wins and their special teams weren't worth a damn. So you didn't know how much the defense played into that. Now you're kind of finding out that maybe Joe Barry knew what he was doing. It's just the rest of the team just kind of blew cheese. Let's do this. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We're going to come back. We are broadcasting live at Kelly's Bleachers 1, kellysbleachers1.com. You can find them there. But Kelly's Bleachers, we're on Blue Mountain Road. We're in Milwaukee, and it's just a stone's throw away, right up the street from American Family Field. If you want to come by, good crowd in here tonight, too. It continues to filter in. There's like two big areas, the bar area, which is you're witnessing right now in the Bud Light live stream. And then there's another whole area, a bar area behind me. They got a retirement party there tonight, I think, and a big gathering. A lot of construction workers in here tonight hanging out over on the other side. They're doing the cannibal sandwiches tonight over there. You would expect that out of construction workers. Big, hard-nosed dudes.
I like those.
Yeah, doing the cannibal sandwiches over there tonight. They were singing songs and chanting for somebody who I guess is retiring today. So that's going on here. Stay tuned. We got more. The Bill Michaels Huddle brought to you by our friends at Bud Light right after this.
This is the Huddle with Bill Michaels on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes.
How you doing, man?
Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay,
Bill Michaels
absolutely.
will
Appreciate it.
resume in 1 minute.
Yeah, great stuff, man. Thank you.
Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
I think every team's a little bit different, but just in terms of some of the adversity and showing the resiliency to be able to perform against some really good teams, I think has been pretty fun to watch. We know that there's a lot of work, a lot of ball out in front of us, and we've got to attack each day with the same mindset of we have to find ways to get better and keep pushing each other from player to player, player to coach, coach to player, all of us trying to do our job as best we can.
Those are the words of Matt LaFleur talking about his team and what they need to do and how this roster has evolved. And, kind of very generic Matt, so to speak. You've got a game coming up tonight. It is the Cowboys hosting the Saints. Dak Prescott and company getting Zeke Elliott back, it looks like, this evening. And no Kamara, by the way, for those of you that have him in fantasy football. But we'll give you more of an update and make some picks coming up here just a little bit later on. Our buddy Ebo from WOZN, the Zone out in Madison, joining us tonight as our guest. And we are brought to you by our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. So we were talking before, Ebo, about how to describe this team. Moving forward, the bye coming so late and being 9-3, do you get more confidence because the team is going to have fresher legs down the stretch? Or was the bye maybe a week or two too late?
I get a lot more confidence. I'm really a big fan of the late bye for the Packers. And I think you mentioned earlier, Bill, it was the latest the Packers have ever had the bye in recent times. So, I'm excited for this team because, look at what's happening, right? The bye came at a perfect time for Devondre Campbell, who's been a diamond in the rough this year. He just got tested positive for COVID. So the earliest he could come back, if he isn't vaccinated, I think is December 10th. But if he is, he just needs 2 negative tests. So get him back, and then you get that toe for Aaron Rodgers a little more healthy as much as it can be with that fracture. And just everyone else. Randall Cobb, I haven't heard too much on him in that groin injury, but hopefully he's, not going to be out too long. But the longer the season has gone on without the bye, now that they have the bye, I like the fact that they get time to rest up, kind of a leg up on some of these other teams.
Yeah, it's the latest bye ever for the Packers. The 4th time since 1990 the Packers have had a bye week in Week 10 or later. It was 2019. They had a Week 11, Week 10 in 2012 and 2010. And then, obviously, this year going into Week 13, if you can believe it, into Week 13 that the Packers have this bye. So we're sitting here today after the Week 12 completion of contest when they beat the Rams 36-28, going into Week 13. The Packers finally get a bye. So looking at what game really interests you this week? You got obviously the game tonight, the Cowboys and the Saints, but Buccaneers, Falcons, Cardinals on the road against the Bears. Is there an AFC matchup? I can't wait for the Monday night game between the Patriots and the Bills because the Patriots have won 6 straight since starting out the season 2-4. And they're now 8-4 on the season. Is there a game this weekend, a team this weekend you're specifically paying attention to?
Looking at this right here, Bill, I'm looking at specifically tonight. On this day in history, I know sadly he's not going to be coaching because he's got COVID, but on this day in history, Mike McCarthy was fired by the Packers after the green and gold lost to the Cardinals 20-17 at one of the worst abysmal games I've ever been to. I was at that game. It sucked.
Oh, man. That was
McCarthy
terrible.
got fired on this day, Rodgers' birthday. So to see if the boys, because I also want this for playoffs, how crazy would it be if the playoffs, the Cowboys with Mike McCarthy came back to Lambeau Field to take on Aaron Rodgers and Matt LaFleur? God,
Right?
I want to see that just because as a radio standpoint, or just, to talk about it, the topic is incredible. It's almost endless.
I don't know
I'm really
if you were
excited about
listening to the show today, but that's exactly what I was saying. People think, well, first of all, haters are going to hate because last year they didn't win because of McCarthy. And I saw Aaron Nagler tweeted this out early, and I agreed with it. Last year, they didn't win. McCarthy sucks. Cowboys were terrible because of McCarthy. This year, they're winning. McCarthy sucks. He's terrible. They're winning in spite of McCarthy. I mean, you can't have it both ways, So they're winning. They played some decent football. They're sitting at 7-4, but they've only won. What is it? They lost 3 out of the last 4 or 4 of their last 5. So over the last 4 or 5 games, the Cowboys have not looked good. They need a big night tonight. Taysom Hill, by the way, he's banged up. He's going to be the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. And as much as people want to go, yay, Taysom Hill, first of all, we'll do picks later, but I don't think the Saints get the win. I know the Saints are trying to climb back to 500 and all that kind of good stuff, but I don't think the Saints win tonight, especially in Dallas. But I agree with you. I think it would be – I'm rooting for Mike McCarthy in every game except for the one that the Packers would play. And as long as they come into Lambeau Field, I think it would be spectacular.
Well, Mike McCarthy, if you go back to last year, Bill, he's a brand new head coach for the Cowboys, obviously. The league kind of shuts down. You can't implement your new offense and your new coaches because it's all Zoom conference. You can't even get in there. And then once you do start out going, Dak Prescott, his freaking ankle breaks and it's just like hanging there like a mangled, limb. And then you lose Prescott. So, I mean, he did not start out the greatest for Mike McCarthy. I always thought he was a great coach. A lot of people gave him some gruff for his challenges, some of his boneheaded play calling, but that's every coach in the league for the most part. I mean, he helped. Aaron Rodgers is great at what he does. Mike McCarthy did help Aaron Rodgers when he started his career. He had Brett Favre give it a little resurgence. He won the NFC North 8 times. He's a Super Bowl winner. You don't just luck your way into doing that. He's a good coach. And now you see what the boys are doing. I would love a matchup between the Cowboys and the Packers at Lambeau Field. And Bill, the Cowboys did go 0-4 in the month of November. It wasn't a kryptonite. I think Big Mike was too focused on the turkey.
Yep. No, I would agree with the feast. Mike, well, maybe then again, he might is Mike McCarthy or is Mike Clemens like to say Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones sit at Jerry's house in their pajamas and eat brisket. Like brisket. Mike says it all the time, man. He says those two guys are sitting around the table. Jerry's firing up the brisket. So it is what it is.
Well, wouldn't you? I feel like it'd be the best brisket around. Jerry Jones would have the greatest stuff.
Yeah, and he'd probably have some real hotties serving it to you, too. Just knowing Jerry's past and what goes on there.
No doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Jerry'd have them all served up. Real quick, before we go to break, look, I think the Packers, I agree with you about the Baltimore Ravens. The next game that scares me more than anything, I don't have a fear of the Bears. I don't have a fear of the Lions. I really don't even fear. Do you think that with the pressure that's on the Cleveland Browns right now, even though they've underachieved, that they've got something in them that at the end of the season, that could end up being a big game on Christmas Day?
Short answer, no. It's the Cleveland Browns, the factory of sadness. Every year, right, in this past recent memory, this is it. The Browns are going to get over the hump. The Browns are going to do it this year. And then what happens? They fall flat on their face. Ever since, Odell Beckham Jr.'s dad released that tape of Baker Mayfield, missing all the throws to his son and yada, 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 the Browns have just been spiraling down. They barely beat the Lions. What was that? 2 weeks ago, November 21st, the Ravens beat them in a terrible game, 16-10. Baker Mayfield just is not the answer. I once was maybe in the beginning of the season because they start hot and fade fast. But since it's the end of the season, no, Bill. I mean, you're from I'm not saying you're from Cleveland, Cincinnati, but the factory of sadness over there. It's like a stench of loser that will never leave them.
Yeah, it's the state. For that matter, I mean, because the Cincinnati Bengals, every time they get hot and every time you think you can start to believe in them, they've done it this year. They just started to look really good. They beat the Baltimore Ravens, and they did it handily. And all of a sudden, they go into New York and they play the Jets and they crap the bed. So They're coming off of that big win where they just destroyed Big Ben and the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're flying high. They've swept them for the season. You can almost count. You can almost just count on this week. When we do our picks, they've got the Chargers coming to town. You can almost count on the fact that Justin Herbert's going to have a record day, huge career day, and even though I really like Joe Burrow, the play calling is going to suck, the defense is going to suck, and the Bengals are going to get beat like 27-17 in some craptastic performance at Paul Brown Stadium. Let's do this. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We're going to come back. We'll get into picks coming up in the next hour. We'll continue to talk some Packers football. Packers at the bye. Stay tuned. We are broadcasting live at Kelly's Bleachers here in Milwaukee, a stone's throw away from American Family Field on Blue Mountain Road. And we are brought to you by our guests and our longtime sponsor, which is Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. Got a lot of guys from Bud Light in the house tonight. Stay tuned. We got more coming up right after this.
This is the Huddle with Bill Michaels on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Now, look, when I step on the field, I expect greatness. I think anyone who's a great competitor feels the same way. So, I don't lean on excuses and not practicing, little toe injury. I expect greatness when I take the field. It definitely isn't the ideal situation not to practice, but I can go out there and take mental reps and go through the plan and my preparation and feel good about what I'm doing. And when I get out there, I just got to rely on my instincts.
Those are the words of Aaron Rodgers talking about the toe. The toe has become the topic of conversation anywhere and everywhere you go, and everybody's wondering if it's going to affect him for the remainder of the season. Welcome back to the program. We are brought to you by our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. We are broadcasting live at Kelly's Bleachers here on Blue Mountain Road, a stone's throw from American Family Field right up the street. And if you want to come out. They got some drink specials going on tonight. Really good food. I had the prime rib wrap a little earlier, and it was absolutely fantastic. And the crab salad, the pasta crab salad, is also very noteworthy here as well. So when you look at the numbers, Ebo, nobody's running away with it, obviously. But would you say, who are your top three in the MVP discussion?
Oh, top three. I think I got to go. I was looking, full disclosure, Bill, I always look at the Vegas odds for this. I would go Tom Brady. You got to throw Josh Allen up there, and then Aaron Rodgers. I would probably put Tom Brady number one, Rodgers number two, but in the eyes of Vegas, Josh Allen is two. And then Josh Allen three for me, but Rodgers is third in the eyes of Vegas. So I would go those three guys.
Why is
Jonathan Taylor would be up there too for me?
No, Jonathan Taylor is getting a little run. I don't think he's going to win it, but he's getting a little run. But
no,
my question is, I know he's missed 3 games. I get that. But why is Kyler Murray? If Kyler Murray picks up where he left off, first of all, he leads the league in QBR. He leads the league in quarterback rating. He's got 17 touchdowns, 7 picks. Yes, I understand that. 18 sacks in the season. But he's got 2,276 yards, a completion percentage of 72%. There isn't anybody that's a starter short of Mac Jones that has anything better than 69.8%. It's phenomenal to me that Kyler Murray is not getting any run at all. I'm not saying he should win, but he's got to be at some point in the conversation. It looks like after practicing today, too, that he's probably going to be back this week as they go in to Soldier Field. But why is Kyler Murray not getting any run?
I think it's just, the NFL and all professional sports are kind of like a what have you done for me lately league. And if you're not there to do anything, I guess you haven't done anything lately. But Kyler Murray, that dude is super electric, is he not? Like, he's so fun to watch. Hopefully he starts playing again. And then when he is out there, he'll probably get a little run again because he's such a dynamic player. And when you throw into the likes of DeAndre Hopkins, people are definitely going to turn their heads. But I think it's just one of those things of what have you done for me lately? And lately it hasn't been anything, Bill.
Yep. Kyler Murray, by the way, just to pay attention to him when he comes back out, he's got a 110.4 quarterback rating. Right behind that, the second best in football is none other than Aaron Rodgers at 105.5 on the season. He's got a 66.2 completion percentage, 2,870 yards. Then you go down. By the way, Kirk Cousins over 3,000 yards. Then you got Matthew Stafford, 3,300. Dak Prescott at 2,900. And then there's Tom Brady, who leads everybody at 3,400 yards this season. He's got 34.3. I take that back. Derek Carr has 34.14. He's got the most yards, but he's got a quarterback rating of 97.1. He's not been the best when it comes to interceptions on the season as well, because Derek Carr, he's got 17 touchdowns, but 9 picks so far this season. Joe Burrow would be better, but he's got 22 touchdowns, 12 picks, and I think 3 or 4 of those are off the fingertips of Chase, because even though Chase is a phenomenal player and a terrific receiver, and for a while there you thought he might end up winning the Rookie of the Year, but I think that's going to go to Mac Jones. But Chase has stone fingers at times, and he's cost his quarterback a couple of picks along the way. But I kind of agree. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Aaron Rodgers wins back-to-back and wins his 4th. And he would only be second then to the 5 that were won by Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning won 5 of them. Everybody else behind him won 3 or less, Brett Favre included. And if Aaron Rodgers should by chance win back-to-back MVPs and win it again this year, that'll give him his 4th. I don't think it – do you think it means much to his legacy, Ebo, if he wins another MVP?
I think it would, give him a little bit of a nod over Brett Favre, right? I know he'd have to get to another Super Bowl, probably win it to get that, big time nod. But to have the 4, then yeah, you could say, hey, look at me. I am better than Brett Favre. But let me ask you a question, Bill. You know a lot more media guys than I do. I know they joked about it on the Pat McAfee show with Rodgers. But with Rodgers and how a lot of media members feel they were duped by him, do you think Rodgers, even if he was the clear-cut favorite, or maybe just neck and neck with whoever would be second place, do you think that they would give him another MVP after they feel so slighted for him saying, yeah, I'm immunized?
There are going to be some that,
because a lot of media members are pretty upset.
Yeah, there's going to be some that are going to hold a grudge. There's no doubt about it. People here in our own backyard, they won't. I mean, it's always going to remain in the back of your bonnet, so to speak. But just watching him play, especially if he's got this bad toe and then he comes back and sets the world on fire, then I think, you know what? It's not that all is forgiven. It's just that you kind of judge it for what it is, especially if it ends up being the last dance, so to speak. But I agree. I think the whole immunization thing, and he can laugh about it, but you and I both know Aaron Rodgers would love another MVP. He would love. He always has wanted to do things better than Favre. He's never going to reach the touchdowns or the yards or all of that stuff that he wanted to achieve. But he's got a better QBR. He's got a better quarterback rating. He's got he's got a ton of touchdowns, and his touchdown to interception ratio is by far the best. But make no mistake about it, he's competitive. He wants another one. He can joke about it, but that's his own doing. And again, to not only say that, but then to double down on saying, well, the media didn't ask a follow-up question, to kind of blame the media. Yeah, when it comes to getting an MVP, he might have cut his own throat. Now, he is being listed by Vegas. He's being listed by, the four-letter network, the NFL network, as one of the top 3 favorites. So let's say he goes on this tear where he throws over the next 5 games, he throws, say, 16 touchdowns, 17 touchdowns, and 1 pick. And the Packers end up, say, either winning out or only losing 1 more game. Wouldn't you then say by the time the end of the regular season culminates, I don't think anybody's going to catch those numbers, especially if his quarterback rating stays so high at 105 or better. He would have to likely then be the candidate to win the MVP. And if you don't vote for him, there's going to be a lot of questions as to why, which to me probably is just another one of those things that it drives Aaron Rodgers to go out and just kick ass, because he's going to want to look people in the eye and go, why didn't you vote for me? If you didn't vote for me, why didn't you vote for me? Because we all know it became a personality contest rather than an actual statistical what I did on the field contest. Because he's out to show everybody
if that's
up
the case,
now.
that means there'll give you a Super Bowl coming up.
Right?
If this is the ultimate chip on the shoulder to just give the double bird and the FU tour to everyone that's, mad at him who once loved him, then, my God, I'll take it all day, because that means there's a Vince Lombardi trophy coming up. Sign me up for it.
Yeah, you would assume so. Now, like I talked about earlier today, if he does win a 4th MVP, but does not win a Super Bowl, I think the 4th MVP doesn't do a damn thing for his legacy. Nothing. It's just another trophy to put on the mantle and another failure in the postseason. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, it's all about the Super Bowl, right? It's all about etching your name on that Vince Lombardi trophy, and to say, hey, look at me, I am better than the gunslinger Brett Favre.
Yep, no doubt. I believe it. Yeah. Let's do this. We're going to step away.
I love the chip on the shoulder idea, though.
I love that. I really do. I know that it was brought up. I know that some of these questions that he's asked on the Pat McAfee show are kind of predetermined, if you will. Wink, wink, nod, nod. I think it's very interesting that he's going to go out on a scorched earth tour, and I think that's yet another award he wants. Obviously, you won a championship, but I think that's another award he wants. Stay tuned. 1 hour down, another hour yet to go. We got a lot more coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Wisconsin basketball team has won 4 straight games. That's after a 70-66 win over Georgia Tech last night as part of the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Brad Davison led the way with 27 points. Johnny Davis added 15 points. Davison was proud of the way the team fought, especially facing a hostile crowd.
For a lot of the guys out there, and a lot of the guys in the locker room, that's their first true road game, a loud crowd. And it was a pretty fun environment to be a part of. It's a new energy for everyone to be a part of. Like I say, I want to do everything I can to help my team win, and at the end of the day, get the win. So whether it's scoring, defending, leading, whatever comes with it, I want to make sure that I put my best foot forward.
The 23rd-ranked Badgers now going to come home to face Marquette on Saturday at a sold-out Kohl Center. Turning to the Bucks, they will not have center Rook Lopez back anytime soon. Big man underwent back surgery, out indefinitely. Lopez hasn't played since the season opener. The signing of DeMarcus Cousins should help Milwaukee lessen the blow in Lopez's absence. Cousins had 7 points, 4 rebounds last night in his debut against Charlotte. Bucks have won 8 straight games, back in action tonight against Toronto. And the Brewers acquired outfielder Hunter Renfroe from the Red Sox last night in exchange for outfielder Jackie Bradley Jr. and 2 minor league prospects.
Want to save even more at Fleet Farm? Well, now you can with Fleet Rewards. It's free to sign up and there's no credit card required. Using Fleet Rewards is easy. Earn points every time you shop. Plus, get exclusive member offers, birthday and anniversary perks, free tire rotations, and more. Download the Fleet Farm app or create an account at fleetfarm.com/rewards to start earning points today. Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
Well, the Packers are on their bye week. Coach Matt LaFleur said earlier this week he was giving them off until Monday. That's when they'll return to the building, start prepping to face Chicago next Sunday. And the Badgers are going to be waiting to find out where they're headed for bowl season. They'll find out on Sunday. Many projections have them in the Outback Bowl in Tampa. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Are you ready for some football? He talks green and gold. This is the Huddle with Bill Michaels.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Bill Michaels Huddle. We are broadcasting live tonight, and we're sitting at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mountain Road here in Milwaukee, a stone's throw away from American Family Field. No football as of just yet. You've got tonight, the Cowboys are hosting the Saints. That'll be on the big screens here, but you also have the Bucks and the Toronto Raptors. Bucks without Giannis tonight. No Giannis this evening after having a big game last night against Charlotte at the Fiserv Forum and getting the win, their 8th straight win. The Bucks off to an 18-18 even match right now with the Toronto Raptors with a couple of minutes to go in the first quarter. In the meantime, hey, shout out to our buddy, the safety doc. Thanks to him. Fat Loss as well. Rick Harris. All the guys, thanks to all of them for showing up on the Bud Light live stream. Our buddy Ebo from WOZN, The Zone, out in Madison, hanging out with us tonight. We certainly appreciate that. Big news out of the NFL. The fact that we heard about this a couple of weeks ago, it went away, and now it's back with a vengeance. Antonio Brown, the often troubled wide receiver of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, has been suspended 3 games. Apparently, he did get a fake vaccine card, a COVID-19 vaccine card. The league announced the penalties today. The league and the players, by the way, 3 players suspended, but they found that Brown was among 3 players who misrepresented their vaccination status. Now, I had somebody ask me earlier, what's the difference between what they did and what Rodgers did? What they did was say they were vaccinated and give a fake card, a vaccination card, to the NFL. What Rodgers did, the team knew about it. The NFL knew about it. What Rodgers did was just mislead the media via word semantics and word gymnastics to kind of take them down a primrose path. But he never lied to anybody inside the walls of 1265 or to the NFL. So there's a difference. And going out and obtaining a fake vaccination card is much more egregious than Aaron Rodgers doing a wink and a nod and saying the media didn't follow up with a question. So Antonio Brown suspended 3 games by the NFL.
I mean, Bill, it's Antonio Brown.
Right?
This guy's been, kind of nutty for a while now. I was thinking about it. I kind of equated it to, what's the difference between jumping off sides and then like roughing the passer, like a personal foul or something.
Right.
That's kind of like what it is. Rodgers provided over 500 pages of homeopathic records to the NFL doctors. They then denied his request, and then he followed strict non-vaccinated protocols, minus the Halloween party, And then the only thing that he did was just tell the media, yeah, I've been immunized.
Right.
Antonio Brown and Mike Edwards and was it John Franklin III who's a free agent right now. They lived like they were vaccinated, duping anyone and everyone. Did you see that it was Antonio Brown's personal chef 2-3 weeks ago? He was not paid from Antonio Brown,
right.
and then he's the one that leaked all this, and then the NFL did an investigation. Absolutely wild, dude. It's crazy.
It's crazy, and here's the thing, and this is Antonio Brown's stupidity. He doesn't pay anybody. If he called me up and said, hey, we would pay you $5,000 to do a show at my house, I would hang up on him. He's awful. He's a terrible human being. Other than the fact that I would go down there, maybe I would do the show, but I'd steal everything in sight to get my money's worth because he's not paying you. And had he it was a $10,000 bill. He's Antonio Brown making millions. It was a $10,000 bill. He refused to pay his personal chef, so his chef blew the whistle. And even Antonio Brown's, rather attractive model-esque girlfriend, she said, oh, no, we both got immunized. But stupidly, they showed the text messages between her and the chef trying to obtain the fake cards that then turned around and said, no, don't worry about it. We've got them. And then to come out and say, no, I never said that. But they had your text messages, which the NFL, it's not too, well, you know what? When Antonio Brown and his girlfriend are getting down and getting busy, it is not a Mensa meeting by any stretch of the imagination. That's just, it's not. There's nothing bright other than maybe the lights that are on in the room. That's it. There's nothing else too bright about those two people. Just an FYI.
Well, what's crazy is, reading the text messages with his personal chef. First of all, you're literally biting the hand that feeds you. You're not paying the guy that cooks you food. Like, what? First of all, huh? And then I think he only paid the guy $500, if I remember correctly, from the text messages I read. It was $500 to go get this COVID card, fake vaccination card for him. And then he told the NFL, because his agent, I remember his agent was, said something about it. He's like, AB, tell me you got vaccinated. You got vaccinated, right? He goes, yeah, I went to one of those drive-up places. I can't really find my records, though.
Yeah, I don't know where it's at.
Like, what? At least cover your tracks.
Yeah, he's a nut. And, hey, another piece of news coming out of the NFL. He was picked up by the Tennessee Titans. They watched him and said, man, no, you just don't have it anymore. Now the Seattle Seahawks have signed Adrian Peterson. The guy just doesn't go away. He still looks like he could run through a wall. He just doesn't have the same hops that he used to. But this is going to make his 7th NFL team. He joins his 7th NFL team now. Adrian Peterson, longtime running back for the Minnesota Vikings. And since then, he's been basically a journeyman after he tore up that knee and just kind of lost his hops. And this is his 7th NFL team. Adrian Peterson, cut by the Tennessee Titans. And he's been cut. Let's see here. He was with the Cardinals, the Saints. Who else? Washington. He went to Washington for a while.
Titans.
The Titans. Who was he with before the? He was with the Seahawks before, or the Titans before the Seahawks. The Lions. He was with the Lions.
With the football team.
Yeah, he was with the football
Lions
team. Washington.
Yeah, you got
team.
them all.
So there you go. Yeah, 7th NFL team. Adrian Peterson.
36 years old, Adrian Peterson.
And like I said,
he's a running back. Crazy.
Still looks
What's
like
Frank Gore doing?
What's
Frank Gore doing?
Yeah, right. Where's Frank Gore at? At least he was still kind of falling forward for yardage.
Oh, I remember Frank Gore is 38. Frank Gore's going to fight somebody. He's going to box somebody. Who the hell is he going to box?
Oh, God.
But Frank Gore's going to box someone in some celebrity boxing thing. I got to figure out who that is.
Oh, man. See, I'd pay to see that. It wouldn't be a lot.
Oh, he's going to fight ex-NBA star Darren Williams from, he used to play for Illinois, if you remember.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Fighting so you got an ex-NFL running back.
Needs money. Everyone needs the money.
Yeah, ex-NFL running back going up against an ex-NBA player and college basketball player. It's man. I want to see I would want to see like the Fridge and Icky Woods. When you start to think about wild matchups,
I think that's elder abuse.
Yeah, like the Fridge and Icky Woods. Who else would you like to see beat the hell out of one another? If you had to go back,
is it wrong for me? I would love to see. Not even the annals of time. I would like to see Mike Tyson just take down like Jake Paul, one of the Paul brothers. Just beat him senseless.
Yeah.
Is that wrong of me? Is that wrong with me?
No, not at all. Not what's. I wouldn't mind seeing
How about this?
And then hitting Tony Mandrich in the beans just to see if he has any.
Like Jose Canseco. Remember when he was on Twitter saying that like he could give you a Vegas trip out in the desert and you can hang out with Sasquatch and aliens?
Right.
I would like to see Jose Canseco box Bigfoot. I think that'd be incredible.
Oh, by the way, see, now I'm getting completely off topic here. Have you ever watched that show, Sasquatch, hunting Bigfoot?
Oh, Bill, big time. I'm a big believer in Sasquatch. I watch every time. I know they're never going to find him, but I still watch.
I was just in Rhode Island with Kristen. That's where she grew up, in Bristol. And I come home. I think it was Monday. I'm sitting there watching TV. I think it was Monday. And I get a text from a buddy of mine. He's like, you got to turn it on. They're in the same area where we were.
No way.
Yeah, and they're in Rhode Island. The guy swore that he saw Sasquatch running through a neighborhood. And
always.
And the guy's like, I hear the trees. That's him. And they all went running. Oh my God. When I go down to my the house in Indiana, there's a house up the street from where the lake is. And he's got cameras all over his house. He's got, those black, like big wood cutouts of Sasquatch that people stick in their yards. Yeah. He's got a couple of those, but he's got cameras everywhere. And they're what they call squatching cameras. Because he swears Sasquatch has walked through his yard in Indiana. So it's
like X-Files. I want to believe.
Right? I have forever wanted to put on a Sasquatch suit, get hammered one night, and go running through his yard. My fear is that he'll shoot me.
Oh my God, it'd be incredible.
But I would love to do that.
Well, here's the thing: you can't shoot the Sasquatch. You need him alive. So hopefully, like maybe it's just a live trap they'd put you in, like a big net or something.
Yeah. Is Sasquatch an endangered species? Because then I'm protected. I wouldn't have to worry about it. I'm like the gray wolf. If you go running through his yard. But yeah, I think you unload a bow and arrow right in my ass or something if I was squatching through his yard. But the guy's got cameras.
So I said Jose Canseco should box Sasquatch. It's like a Scooby-Doo episode. He boxes Sasquatch. He sits him down. Turns out it's Bill Michaels in a Sasquatch costume.
That would be awesome. I'd do that. I do that in a heartbeat. I'd pay a ticket.
Right? I'd pay for a ticket.
That'd be awesome, man. I'd come out there and squatch all over his ass right there in a heartbeat. Maybe pound him on the head when that baseball hit him and it went out of the ballpark on that off his noggin home run from years gone by when he was playing with the Rangers. I'd love that. 877-867-1670. If you got a thought of who you would love to see fight, you can call in because the program has completely come off the tracks. We are brought to you by our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network, putting the program back on the tracks. The biggest concern for me in the second half, or the unofficial second half of the season, are you of the ilk now, Ebo, that it's Mason Crosby's problem and they need to possibly jettison him, or are you the guy that's going to say, nope, you got to stick with him for the remainder of the season?
Man, I definitely do think it's a Mason Crosby problem because if you watch the game against the Rams, right, the snap looked perfect, the hold looked perfect, and Crosby just missed it. And then he almost missed an extra point. He kept flirting with, the left side, upright, I think, that he kept flirting with. It's like, oh my God, dude. So, Mason Crosby, as the problems that he has had, and I do believe, he's got to take some responsibility. You still got to stick with the guy because we saw them bringing in that Steven Wirtle and Bojorquez, who's a great punter, right? But that totally messed with the flow. Imagine if you brought in a guy at the end of the season in the unofficial second half who is not Mason Crosby. You're going to mess with the flow even more. I believe Crosby hopefully get his mind right because I think it's all mental. Get his mind right here over the bye and then come back and be like the Money Mason that we know. So I still believe, but it is concerning.
I am of the ilk that, and again, I know people think that I make excuses because I like him, but I look at Mason Crosby and that miss that he had. If you at Lambeau Field, the wind was really swirling. I don't know how much that played into it. Yeah. I give him a little bit of the benefit of it. It's not like he's missing everything. He's hitting PATs. He hit other kicks throughout the day. That one just looked like it just blew a little bit to the left. But I will say there are people that are saying, look, everything he does, for the most part, is kind of, if you want to call it hooking to the left. So I understand it. I get it. But I'm going to stick with Mason Crosby.
So
And I
Bill,
think the only time we even come close to losing Mason Crosby is in training camp next year.
Yeah, I do agree with you. But to play devil's advocate and what you're saying, Mason Crosby has been kicking at Lambeau Field in wins since 2007. But I do agree with you, though. I mean, it definitely was windy, and you got to stick with Mason Crosby. But it's concerning. But the Packers special. Every time I've done the huddle with you, Bill, it's the same thing we talk about. The special teams is like, what the hell is going on with the special teams?
Right.
When's the last time the Packers had a good special teams unit? Like 30 years ago?
Well, last year he was pretty steady. I'll give you that. He was pretty steady.
Well, I don't mean him specifically. I mean
as a whole. Just as a whole, it's been a while. The last time I go back to maybe when Randall Cobb was a returner his rookie season, he was really good. Prior to that, I have to go back to when they had good kicking, good punting, and Allen Rossum was your returner. And Allen Rossum was a legitimate threat. Not necessarily to go all the way all the time, but he certainly had a knack of bringing a football back. Then, don't forget, that's when they also changed the rules after that, and they moved the kickoffs up. So they had less returns because they said it was becoming a safety issue. So, I mean, I think special teams in general are not what they used to be. But nevertheless, I mean, it's been a while since they've had a consistent returner or a guy that could at least hang on to the football. You know, I mean, the Stokes.
Bill, Allen Rossum played
or Amari
2000
Rodgers,
and 2001.
Yeah. That was the last time they were really, really good, in my opinion.
God, that's insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
That was the last time I think they were really, really good. That's the last guy that really stands out to me. But the Amari Rodgers experiment, I mean, then they take him out, put Randall Cobb back there because Randall Cobb's got the better hands, and Randall Cobb fumbles away the football. So it's been trial and error and a lot of comic relief, I guess, is the best way to put it for the special teams unit. And the guy that I always say, I give the guy, if you listen to him speak, you want to run through a wall. Mo Drayton is rah, we're going to get it fixed. These guys are better. I'm going to do this. And you walk away going, damn straight. And then the next week we're going, boy, this sucks all over again. So the special teams units, it just has. It's, you know, remember they drafted a punter in what was it, BJ Hunter or something, or BJ, whatever the hell the guy's name was, that Mike Sherman drafted because John Ryan the year before could not drop it inside the 20 or inside the 10. And was it, I can't remember the guy's name that they drafted. He was a kicker, a punter out of Ohio State. And he was supposed to come in and be great. And for a third-round draft choice, they wasted it on that cat because he was awful. And that began kind of the spiral. I mean, the one mainstay, the steady foot, if you will, you had Ryan Longwell there for a long time, and then Mason Crosby. And it's been steady pretty much.
BJ Sander?
BJ Sander, not BJ Hunter. BJ Sander, yes. BJ Sander, third-round draft choice. I'll never forget it.
I think that's it.
I was doing the Packers show on draft day inside the atrium, and they said at the third round of the Green Bay Packers, BJ said, what? It was like palm to forehead. Boo! And then you heard the one guy, this big fat guy, who's always adorned in Packers gear, yells out at the top of his lungs, which then echoes throughout the atrium, are you effing kidding me? And you could just hear it everywhere. And I'm sure if Ted Thompson was sitting upstairs in his office, he's like, oh, that guy's not happy. So it was not a good day picking BJ Sander, I'll tell you that right now. Although Ted Thompson wasn't even there then. That was Mike Sherman's team. But you get the point. Let's do this. We're going to go ahead and take
Should have drafted Sasquatch.
Right? Sasquatch is a kicking mofo because look at the size of his feet. They're huge. Go squatching. Got more of the Bill Michaels Huddle brought to you by our friends at Bud Light next.
This is the Huddle with Bill Michaels on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Second and 6. Bumping it off, and again it's Dillon. Dillon breaking a tackle. We're going to stay balanced. Finally, Wagner just throws him down in frustration.
Getting the crowd going with a simple flat route, but this didn't just happen right now. Great job by Dillon. He's playing. That was a great play. Really cool to see. That was a byproduct of controlling the game and having a defense that's so tired they can't quite finish.
I really genuinely, I couldn't tell you how many rushing yards I have, how many passing yards, or any of that stuff. Each week I set goals for myself. I keep accomplishing those. I'm getting more comfortable. That for me is the ultimate goal, to just go out there and be, trusted by my teammates. And when I see guys coming over and they're like, good job, or I'm proud of you, like, that really does mean a lot.
There you go. That is A.J. Dillon, and a guy that has been I got to admit, when they drafted him, I thought, why are they drafting this guy? You got Jamal Williams, who basically is the same as A.J. Dillon, and now you understand why. And Dillon has been all of that and continues to get better in his second year with the Green Bay Packers. And now he is kind of shouldering the load while Aaron Jones still recovers from that sprained MCL. In the last game against the Rams, Aaron Jones didn't look the same. He didn't look like the same Aaron Jones. Didn't have that quick jump cut, that quick step. And down the stretch, A.J. Dillon seemed to be able to really kind of turn it on. He had a couple of big runs, a 7-yard gain for a first down, and just kind of propelled that team on his shoulders late in the ball game. And now you know why they went after him and let Williams walk for more money. So A.J. Dillon, and not in the fact that he has gotten the key to Door County, and he is talking about the wings up in Door County, what he enjoys the most. So he's become a spokesman for the state of Wisconsin, almost in the sense. Ebo is joining us.
Bill.
Yeah, go ahead.
I kid you not. So there's a Chambers Island, which is up there in Door County. My brother, his wife, so my sister-in-law, their family own a cabin. Built a cabin on Chambers Island. It's like a 40-minute boat ride out to this island, right? So my brother is out there partying, and I spent some time with there. It's beautiful. My brother's out there partying, though, and everyone meets on this little beach on Chambers Island. So he's out there partying, and this boat pulls up, and he gets to talking to this guy, and this guy's like huge. His quads are like bigger than him. And I kid you not, that was the first time that A.J. Dillon had been up there. So he's partying with A.J. Dillon, and on this island, it's all golf carts. There's no electricity. Everyone has solar panels, or generators. And they take him to one of the houses there, and he is just in awe of everything that Chambers Island had at Door County had. His first experience, my brother was actually there with him partying. He sent me a picture of them choosing beers in, out in the lake. It was crazy. So Quadzilla, I have almost a connection. I can almost get him to help him be king of Door County.
Quadzilla.
Crazy. Small world.
He is he's becoming a fan favorite, fast and furious. And then the fact that Aaron Jones took a little less money to remain in Green Bay. You got a good 1-2 punch. It's going to be here for a while. So the run game is exciting. So let me ask you this: how much better does the offense become when we come back and see this thing back at full, as close as you're going to get to full strength? Josiah DeGuara really started to come on and showed the reason why they drafted him, because he got good hands. The guy can just catch anything thrown to him. Aaron Jones obviously will be coming back with a little more hop in his step. You got Quadzilla along the way, and an offensive line that hopefully continues to get better. Eventually you get, Myers back and Bakhtiari back. How much better does this offense look over the next couple of weeks, Evo?
Oh, well, with the bye and them getting healthier, it's going to be great. And, getting Aaron Jones a little more healthier. It's if you can, and Matt LaFleur loves, establishing that run, right? It's like 50-50. And I know the little dink and dunk passes from Aaron Rodgers is an extension of the run game. But, Bill, as it gets colder, right? And hopefully the road, the playoffs goes through Lambeau. If it gets colder out there, tell me, Bill, you're in the mind of a football player on defense, and you see a guy who's got two different names. One's Quadzilla, one's the Quadfather, his quads. And he gets the ball handed off to him, and you're responsible for tackling him in the cold. Do you really want to do that, Bill? Do you want to take that punishment from Quadzilla himself?
Late in a ball game, usually the fourth quarter is when you start to look at it. If you're down by a score or even two, it gets a lot colder. And then you got this guy muscling his way at you and starting to run over you consistently. I think he becomes a huge factor in all of this before it's all said and done.
I'm going to DM you the picture of my brother partying with him out there on Chambers Island. I'm going to send it to you right now, Bill.
Yep. Hey, by the way, are you a wrestling fan?
Like, which kind? Like
professional wrestling
or WWE?
Yeah, WWE.
I was when I was younger. I still kind of keep like one eye on it once in a while. It's interesting once in a while, especially some of the
because a story came out. Braun Strowman, remember him from WWE?
Oh, yeah.
Braun Strowman, better known as Adam Scherr, that is his real name. He's wrestling this week at a thing called Blizzard Brawl in Waukesha. And they do these. They have these, smaller, wrestling things that come, to smaller arenas in the area every now and then. And they've done this Blizzard Brawl thing in December, I don't know how many years, out at the Waukesha Expo Center. He's coming to town specifically to wrestle. And he's going to make the donation to the United for Waukesha Community Fund to help the area and all of those that were affected by
awesome.
I just saw that come across, and because I know that a lot of guys that are out there are WWE fans, so just thought I'd throw it out there before we got to the bottom of the
That's
hour.
great. It's great when people can come together. Obviously it's terrible what had happened. It's just so disheartening. But when people can come together and I was reading the article that you were featured in, Bill, saying a lot of people say thoughts and prayers. Well, that's great, but it's time to do something. And good on you for getting out there and having, the radiothon that you did and doing something, and like Braun Strowman and whatnot. That's well done, Bill. I don't think I could congratulate on you that, but way to actually do something. That was good on you, dude.
Yeah, it's when I drive down there, it's 6 minutes from my house, literally. And the night that the afternoon that all of that happened, we were thinking about going down, and I got off the air from doing the Green and Gold postgame show. It was 5 o'clock. Santa usually comes down about 6:30, 6-ish, somewhere in there. And I thought, well, we got some time. We'll get down there, run over to Nice Ash, sit in the storefront window, smoke a cigar, have a beverage, and watch Santa go by. And as we were getting ready to kind of pick ourselves up to get ready to leave, that's when I started to look through Facebook, and I started to see friends of mine that were there that said, oh, my God. And at first, it's you look at it and you're thinking, this isn't real. What the hell's going on? And then the more you saw, then it was kind of like, and then you could hear it. Kristen had yelled down to me. She was upstairs in the bedroom changing, and she yelled down, do you hear the sirens? And I said, oh, my God, I think something happened in Waukesha. And then she looked out the window, and you could see the helicopters were flying, because at the time, there was a report out that there was not just one person, but maybe 3 people, and they had captured one, but 2 other guys were on the loose. And then we got a buzz on our phone for the shelter in place for the Waukesha Police Department. So we're kind of like, you know what? We're going to stay here. We're not going to do it. That's the first time. I was telling this on the air the other day. I don't know if you heard that. It's the first time with everything that I saw, because that's when the videos were raw before everybody decided to take them down because they were so graphic.
Yeah.
I saw the video of the band member get run over, and I saw the video of the dancing grannies get run over. I was like, oh, my God. And I'm thinking, if somebody will do this, no matter where they're at, and like I said, it's only 6 minutes away from my house. And I thought to myself, when they said the shelter in place and there wasn't sure if there was anybody else on the loose, that's the first time I've ever gone up to my safe and grabbed my gun and loaded it. Because I thought, if they'll do
Scary
that.
world out there, man.
Yeah, if they'll do that, they'll do anything. So, and I'm glad, obviously I unloaded it and I never had to use it. But man,
it's as terrible as it is, it's you can't let them win, right? You can't let it win, that kind of mentality, that negativity. So the power of positivity and to come together as a community and do something, and good on you for leading the charge, because you can't let the evil win. You got to go out there and put good out in the world. And that's exactly what you're doing. What
we try to do each and every day. You are 100% correct. When we come back, time to look through the rest of the NFL. You got a game that's in progress. The Cowboys, with 10:52 remaining in the first, it's scoreless with them and the New Orleans Saints down in Big D. We'll go through and start picking contests. And this week's contest without a Green Bay Packers pick, as the Packers are on a bye. Stay tuned. Broadcasting live at Kelly's Bleachers. And we're here just kind of hanging out, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. You want to come by over on Blue Mountain Road, a stone's throw away from American Family Field. They've got some specials tonight, some beer specials, some Bud specials here this evening. Come on in. Say hello. We got more right after this.
This is the Huddle with Bill Michaels on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Tackling is much more than that. Tackling is, getting 11 guys to the ball. So it's hustle, it's effort. I think it's educating guys with where their help is so they know what leverage and what shoulder they can tackle with. So if you do miss a tackle, you're missing a tackle to a buddy. So I think those are all things, in the process that you have to teach, you have to emphasize. But the biggest thing is you have to find creative ways to practice it. Our guys have done that.
Welcome back to the program. We are glad you're with us tonight, as always. Joe Barry, defensive coordinator of the Green Bay Packers, and we continue on. We now get into the rest of the NFL. You got a game in progress as we speak. You've got the New Orleans Saints on the drive against the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas without Mike McCarthy, who is right now has COVID and is not coaching his team tonight. Dallas on the heels just a little bit as right now no score in the ball game, but Taysom Hill leading the charge. No Alvin Kamara tonight either for the New Orleans Saints, but right now that contest is scoreless. Ebo from WOZN, the Zone out in Madison, joining us tonight as the guest. We now get into the NFL picks. And Ebo, you and I talked about it a little bit earlier. I'm hoping, and maybe I'm probably more so than a lot, I'm hoping the Dallas Cowboys continue to win. I want to see them come into Lambeau Field and take on the Packers in maybe an NFC Championship game, and which would be great storylines. Mike McCarthy returning to McCarthy way and possibly getting beat at that point in time. I think most Packers fans would love it, and the anxiety would be running high because the last thing you ever want to do is get beat by Mike McCarthy coming back. But I'm going to pick the Cowboys tonight just for the fact that Taysom Hill's playing quarterback, even though they're playing pretty well. If the Cowboys don't win this game, they have no business being anywhere near the postseason. So I'm taking the Cowboys at home.
Yeah, I'm taking the boys too, Bill. You look at the Cowboys. They went 0-4 in the month of November. It's the NFL. They're all professionals. I don't think – and the boys are pretty good this year. So I have also take the Cowboys over the Saints. I'm not a big Taysom Hill guy. If you want a quarterback who's going to – or a running back or a gadget player who's going to take the ball and run up the gut for like 1 yard, pick him. That's not for me. So give me the boys.
Yep, no doubt. Then you got the 8-3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road against the 5-6 Atlanta Falcons. Now the Falcons, I can't figure them out. Just when I think that they're going to be bad, they knocked off the Jaguars last week, but they did struggle. They put up touchdowns in each of the first 3 quarters and could not score against that Jaguars defense in the latter portion of that contest. And Urban Meyer still being rumored, by the way, to go to Notre Dame, even though he's emphatically said no, he has no interest. But the Falcons, I got the Buccaneers winning this game. I just think Tom Brady is the better quarterback, obviously. But I don't think the Buccaneers defense is the same as it was last year. And I'm going to say this is going to be a close one. If I had to pick it, I'm going to say 23-21, 23-20, something like that. Buccaneers get the win over the Falcons.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the Buccaneers do win. Tom Brady is a master putting the blinders on of sideshows. So this whole, I know Antonio Brown's hurt. Mike Edwards also getting popped with these fake vaccine cards. So I'll take the Buccaneers. But Bill, you're going to the Falcons to cover them. The Buccaneers are favored by 11 points right now in this game.
Yeah, I think that's a large spread. Even though I do like what Brady can do, they haven't been able to do it consistently as of late. So I would take the Falcons to cover the spread. By the way, I said that tonight they're playing down in Dallas. In fact, they're actually playing in New Orleans, and New Orleans just missed wide right a field goal to take the lead. So it's still scoreless down in New Orleans. Did you hear Jerry Jones' quote, by the way, earlier today on doing his radio show?
What he said?
He had said, whenever you see me out there, it's only 80% of Jerry Jones because 20% of me's been left on Bourbon Street. That's what he said.
He is an interesting man, isn't he?
Yes, he is. You got the Cardinals sitting at 9-2 on this season. They are on the road down at Soldier Field against the Bears. All of the speculation about Matt Nagy being fired turned out it was for naught, and the report did not turn out to be true. I still believe he's going to be fired at the end of the season, but that being said, I think the Cardinals get the win. Kyler Murray looks to be coming back. He was practicing again today. Cardinals go to 10-2, Bears go to 4-8, and it is just another nail in the Matt Nagy coffin.
Yeah, Bears, man, they stink. But that being said, McCaskies, if you're listening, extend Matt Nagy for life. We love him here in Wisconsin. Yeah, give me the Cardinals. The Bears that's a tough scene. I'll take the Cardinals all day, all night.
You got Matt Nagy, you got Ryan Pace, Ted Phillips, who's been the president down there for years and years. And all three, the brain trust is, I don't think they could get through, first year, freshman algebra. It's a train wreck. The Chargers.
Extend them all for life.
Yeah, by all means. Yeah, just go with sub-mediocrity forever and ever and ever and live on the glory days of the 85 Bears and call it a day. The Chargers are on the road. They're coming into Cincinnati. 6-5 the Chargers are. Cincinnati sitting at 7-4 on the season. And Cincinnati just got done beating a decent, if you will, a decent team in the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're coming off of this big win. They swept them for the first time since Moses was a baby. Everybody's all excited, which leads me to believe that the Cincinnati Bengals, who do not know how to swallow success, will choke on themselves. I'm taking the Chargers on the road in this one.
See, Herbert's balling, man, but I like Joe Burrow, Bill. I know that the Bengals always find failure. I'm gonna go Cincinnati in this one. Maybe they can have some. Well, is this what chili is there? It's not Skyline, is it? What chili is there?
Skyline in Cincinnati. Skyline and Gold Star, but Skyline is the staple.
Is Skyline the sponsor of Paul Brown Stadium?
It is. Yeah.
Okay, so they can have some celebratory Skyline.
Oh, wait a minute. I think Skyline sponsors the Reds and Gold Star sponsors the Bengals.
Star.
Gold Star does.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which also explains a lot about the Bengals.
That does. That explains a lot then. I'll go Chargers then.
Okay. By the way, it is going to be 62 and rainy in the Queen City. So it'll feel more like San Diego. Yeah. Or more like LA than it will like Cincinnati in December. Yeah. 62 and rainy. You got a division matchup in the NFC North. The Vikings on the road taking on the 10-1 Lions. I got to tell you, I was rooting like hell for the Lions to win over Thanksgiving. I was just thinking they can do this. And they played pretty well, but in the end, the Bears were just a little bit too much. I'm rooting. I'm going to let them let me down again. I'm taking the Lions in the upset. They got to beat the Vikings. I'm taking the Lions. Lions get their first win of the season against Kirk Cousins and company.
Man, you're a glutton for punishment, aren't you, Bill? I got it. Kirk Cousins is balling this year, despite him lining up under his guard besides his center.
How about that?
The Niners.
Out in San Fran, I got to call a timeout because he's got the wrong ass.
I'll take the Vikings in this one, though. The Lions, no.
Yeah.
I'll take the Vikings.
They're going to let you let me down. There's no doubt. The Colts at 6-6, taking on the Texans at 2-9. Let that beast run. Jonathan Taylor all day long against that Texans defense. I'm taking the Colts.
Yeah, same. No doubt. Jonathan Taylor. I don't know why the Colts forgot to keep giving them the ball in the game against the Buccaneers. Colts all day over the Texans. Texans stink.
Giants 4-7, Dolphins 5-7. The game that basically not a lot of people care about, other than the people that happen to live in those two cities. And I don't even think anybody gives a damn about the Dolphins down in Miami. So I'm going to take the Giants on the road to get the win in this one.
Tua Tagovailoa, I've been practicing that. He's been kind of pulling himself up these past couple of games. I'm not a believer in the Giants. I'm not a believer in Daniel Jones. I will take the Dolphins at home, Bill, at Hard Rock Stadium.
Nice. He's got the Dolphins. Bill, we're going opposites today. It's good. I like that. The Eagles at 5-7. Ben Kenny rolling around in hopes of getting a win and possibly trying to catch the inept Dallas Cowboys in the division. Meanwhile, the Jets suck swamp water. I'm taking the Eagles and a jubilistic Ben Kenny come Monday morning.
Now, Bill, we're not going to disagree on this one, my friend. I don't know how the Eagles lost to the Giants last week. I did poke fun of Ben Kenny a little bit. He did not want to talk about that. I will go fly, Eagles fly at MetLife over the Jets. Jets, that's PU.
There we go. Let's do this. We're going to step away, take a quick break. We'll come back, wrap things up next to the Bill Michaels Show.
This is the Huddle with Bill Michaels on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Yeah, for sure. I think we can grow. We can definitely still continue to get better. Just nitpicking on some things, and we got a really high standard as far as how we want to operate as a team. So coming out of a game, 30 some odd points is going to be great, but we just want to continue to push the envelope and capitalize as much as we can.
Welcome back to the program. The Bill Michaels Huddle. We are brought to you by our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. We're broadcasting live at Kelly's Bleachers here on Blue Mountain Road, a stone's throw away from American Family Field. Always a great place to gather prior to a Brewers game. They run shuttles right down the street into the stadium, or you can walk there from here. But nevertheless, everybody knows Kelly's Bleachers if you've ever been to a Brewers game. And swing by. They up until 8 o'clock tonight, they have some Bud Light specials going on. They have food specials going on. And if you want to come in throughout the rest of the evening and you tell them you heard it here, they'll give you the special all the way up until midnight tonight. So you can do that as well. Continuing our NFL picks, the second half of the picks, as a matter of fact. Ebo from WOZN, the Zone out in Madison, co-hosting today. And you got the Jaguars, and I just had mentioned that Urban Meyer emphatically denying that he is going to go back to college football, saying that the likeness payouts have changed the game of football. I have no idea how or why, but I think it smells like crap, sounds like crap, looks like crap. I think Urban Meyer wants desperately to come back to the college coaching ranks, possibly to win another title and to do it at Notre Dame. So the more he says no, the more I believe he's going to come back. But I'm going to believe they're going to get the hell beat out of him by the Rams on the West Coast this weekend.
Yeah, Urban Meyer, maybe thought to Notre Dame, but yeah, they hired Marcus Freeman instead, went in-house with their DC. But, Bill, yes, I am right there with you. The Jags are going to get their asses handed to them on a silver platter. The LA Rams are going to be a little grumpy.
Yeah, I thought that Freeman might be a good pick, and I was really surprised, albeit if Cincinnati wasn't up for being in a Final Four and possibly a championship, I think maybe Luke Fickell might have made the jump. But I give Luke Fickell credit because he turned down Michigan State. He's now said he didn't want anything to do with the Notre Dame job because his team's in a quest for a championship. And Cincinnati doesn't pay much at all. The fact that he's had two big-time colleges come to him and say, would you like to come and coach us? And he said no to both of them. Man, a lot of credit there. But I think Urban Meyer, man, even though he didn't get the job, I think he was looking over that fence hard. You got Washington football team, 5-6, on the road against the Raiders, 6-5. The Raiders have fallen apart. For the most part, ever since all the John Gruden stuff came out, they have not been a good football team. In Washington, and Taylor Heineke has opened some eyes. I don't think he's going to be the long-term answer, but he's made it exciting. He's kind of their version of the Magic Man. I'm taking the Magic Man in Vegas. I'm going to roll the dice, so to speak, and I'm going with the Washington football team.
You're going to roll the dice with the Riverboat Ron over there, Bill? Yeah,
there is nothing better than that.
Raiders got that crazy victory over the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, but to your point, yeah, they lose to the Giants, they lose to the Chiefs, they lose to the Bengals. There's something about Tyler Heineke. I know he loves Brett Favre, a little Favre in him. I kind of like it, and the football team is kind of getting a little hot a little bit. I'm gonna go right there with you. Give me Washington. I like to gamble too, Bill. Give me Washington.
Like that. The Steelers coming off of an awful performance in Cincinnati, and they're fading fast. The Ravens sitting at 8-3. Going into Steeler Stadium, into Heinz Field. I think the Ravens are going to win. But this game, if this game begins to get out of hand, I would look for the Steelers to start playing, we'll say scrappy. I don't want to say dirty, but we'll say scrappy football to the sense that we may see a dust-up or two. Because the Steelers know they're going down. This is it. If they don't win this game, they're not catching the Ravens, and they're going to be an outside shot at best to make it into the postseason. So I'm gonna take the Ravens, but this is a game I want to watch because I think this is going to get really, really scrappy.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Big Ben might be feigning retirement and going to get the walking boot out because Ravens 16-10 victors over the Browns. Right, that wasn't too impressive, but the Steelers are cratering. I will also take Lamar Jackson, Hollywood Brown, and those Raiders over the Steelers. And maybe Big Ben will say this is it for him. Who knows?
Yeah. Then you got the 49ers on the West Coast in Seattle, and the Seattle Seahawks, talk about fading. They're 3-8 on the season. Their defense looks bad. Yeah. They're running out of gum for Pete Carroll. It's just an awful situation. I'm taking the 49ers to get the win. 49ers go to 7-5 and keep their postseason playoff hopes alive. The Seahawks go to 3-9 and continue to fade fast.
Yeah, I did see Russell Wilson was it today or yesterday said he's an overcomer. I'm like, hey, good for Sierra, I guess. But yeah, I'm going to take
I can't say that. I can't say it.
Well, he's overcoming the odds. I guess I get it.
Yes.
So Russell Wilson was going to be an overcomer with the odds. Give me the Seahawks because they got to have some kind of. They still got something in them, right? Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited. I'll take the Seahawks in this one.
All right. Then you got the Broncos 6-5 in Kansas City, taking on the Chiefs. Chiefs sitting at 7-4, and the Chiefs have been winning. They've been ever since they beat the Packers. It seems like that ignited something. Chiefs offense is starting to roll. I'm taking the Chiefs in almost a runaway. I'm going to say the Chiefs win this thing almost 35-17, and they get the win. I'm taking the Chiefs to go to 8-4.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Bill. Broncos, no thanks. Chiefs all the way in this one. That's a no-brainer for me.
Then the matchup, I think, of the week, one of the better ones, is the fact that the Patriots started off the season at 2-4. Since then, they've reeled off 6 straight wins. Mac Jones is getting a ton of pub between himself. He's probably the only guy that is right now the solid favorite to win Rookie of the Year. And the Patriots are in Buffalo. Now, Mac Jones has been preparing all week, apparently, with like sound being piped in of like all kinds of stuff about his mom and everything. He's ready for the slurs. And I don't know what Bill Belichick put into this PA system, but apparently he's been preparing for it all week. Bills fans are gearing up for the Patriots to come in. I'm taking the Patriots to get the Bills. Patriots go to 9-4. Bills go to 7-5 because the Bills I had much more faith in, and they have really let me down as of late. I'm going with the Patriots. They're the hot hand.
God, this is a tough one for me, man. You look at Orchard Park there in New York and the Bills. Josh Allen second in the eyes of Vegas for MVP, but it's Bill Belichick. And look at him with this new project and Mac Jones. I think it's going to be a shootout, but I'm going with the Buffalo Bills in this one. I'll take the Bills. I'll take the Bills, Bill, to disagree with you on the last pick here.
There you go. So that's the way it pans out. That's the way we pick them. And hopefully you're following along at home, Dan and everybody that's hitting us up on the Bud Light live stream. Ebo, this weekend I'm off to get the real Christmas tree and to cut it down. You're a fake Christmas tree kind of guy. Is it because of a bad experience with the real one? You don't want sap in the house or what?
My whole life I grew up, as a country kid, I grew up always having a real Christmas tree. But then I guess the city slicker got me once I moved in to Madison here. But the missus, the wife, she liked the fake tree. She found a really nice one, and I gotta say it's really easy. I would prefer a real one, but happy wife, happy life. I'll go with the fake one.
There you go. So, I will say this: if you go with like the Balsam Hill fake tree, the ones that are like $1,500, those look real. All you gotta do is spray some of that pine on them, and they look real. They'll smell real. Yeah. People will go, "My God, you got a perfect Christmas tree. How'd you get that?" So I understand it. But yeah, I'm going to cut one down this weekend, and then on Sunday while the games are on, I'll have the big screen rolling and I'll be decorating that thing and getting the house ready for the party coming up in a couple of weeks. So there you go. That's it.
It's not quite the same with the plastic one, and I put a spray a little pine sol around. Just not quite the same, but enjoy it this weekend.
There you go. By the way, the Cowboys on a touchdown pass and catch take the lead. Gallup pulls one down in the back corner of the end zone on the right hand side. And the Cowboys quickly up 6-0 over Taysom Hill and company in New Orleans. So there you go. Hey, thanks to the staff and management here at Kelly's Bleachers. They're always great to work with, always great. And this is one of the best places to work because they have the best internet. And that's what we run the show off of. So thanks to them for preparing everything and getting it ready for us. We certainly appreciate it. We'll be back again next week. Next week, we're going to be at Jersey's on South Howell Avenue, down by the airport, down by the Milwaukee General Mitchell International Airport. We'll be down there next Thursday. I don't know who the guest is going to be. We'll be there next Thursday night. So time for us to get here. For Evo, myself, everybody involved here, staff and management at Kelly's Bleachers, thanks so much for taking a listen to us.